On the 2nd of February 1963, I know we're all too young, but let's imagine we can remember that far back. In fact, I wasn't born then, just to get the record straight. But on the 2nd of February 1963, at the former Shepherd's Bush Empire in the very heart of West London, which was now the BBC TV Theatre, something rather magical happened on screen. And also something that was lost forever, which could have been a dramatic twist of fate for this former British sex symbol and a man who left a lot of women shaken and definitely stirred. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here. Nice to see you. Let's have a wave. Are you all right today? Thank you so much as ever for joining me. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Now, this, if you live in the United Kingdom, will take you back. Of course, if you don't, do check it out on YouTube, because we used to have a big show over here in the 1960s, which really created something of a, real sort of fuzz, if you like, because everybody wanted to tune in to watch this. And when it was on Saturday tea times on BBC TV, we're talking, of course, about the brilliant Jukebox Jury. Now, there were other editions later on. That's why I know about the show. Revamped versions, never as good as the original. And this was expertly presented by the brilliant DJ, David Jacobs. He of the smooth voice. What a guy. But what was interesting about the show was they had a panel each week of, celebrities, and they would play them certain records of David's Jukebox, and they would have to say hit or miss. But then what I always liked about this, they would bring out the mystery celebrity. So you never knew if you'd sort of slated that person's record, whether they were going to bring you out, and then you'd have to face the panel who claimed your record was rubbish. It's cruel, isn't it? They think reality TV's new. It's all got on before. But what's interesting about this particular story, on that panel, that particular week, were two icons, quite literally, of the British cinema. The brilliant Sir Sean Connery, riding high with his second Bond, Goldfinger, and of course the former British sex symbol of the 1950s and still as gorgeous as ever in the 1960s, Diana Dors, both on the panel, as I say, along with some other people at BBC TV Theatre. What's interesting here, though, is, according to a very well-placed source who was part of the production team I was lucky enough to meet recently in an interview, he told me that Diana Dors really made a beeline for Sean Connery. Well, what lady wouldn't, I can hear a lot of girls out there saying. But it wasn't about that. She wanted to reinvent herself. Having scored big in the late 1950s with that mega movie Yield to the Night, she wanted to reinvent herself once more as a Bond baddie, a female Bond baddie. Now, Sean liked this idea simply because he'd had something of a crush on Diana Dors growing up in Scotland. When he pitched this to the Bond bosses, they said, no, she's a sex symbol, They knew she could act, but they said nobody would take her seriously as a baddie. And so, despite Sean pushing, and they remained friends for many, many years, sadly, Di missed out on the chance to be in a Bond movie. Of course, she spoofed this particular character many years later under the tutelage of the brilliant comedians, the two Ronnies. But that truly was as close as Diana Dors got to playing it bad on screen, opposite the dashing James Bond. Do you think that was an opportunity missed? And you see what happens just on a panel on Jukebox Jury? Also, let me know in the comments below. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy? And did you get the records right? Neil Sean, Lambeth Palace, London.